Absolutely.
I really think that pretty soon here in New York, they're going to ask the schools and teachers to mask up again, because on Long Island, it's rampant again. So anyway, that will be our plan. We'll meet next week, and the following week, which is Erev Christmas, we won't, and then we'll meet again the 6th of January.
Okay.
All right, is that good? And we'll meet for like
Works.
a couple of weeks in January, and that'll be great. All right, so I did ask, I said I'd like you to pick a section of the Kedusha. Nancy, did I say the Musaf Kedusha?
I think you said we could pick either one, right?
Okay, well, I have both in front of me. The morning Kedusha, I have it from Lev Shalom, and if anyone needs a page and wants it in their book, I have the printouts that I sent you last week. So I have both in front of me. Now, Nancy, you said that you had prepared a little paragraph. From
I
which
said
one?
I've been practicing. I didn't
Well,
say I prepared.
that's great. Which one, the morning Kedusha or the Musaf after?
Musaf.
Musaf.
And I was doing the Lador Vador.
Okay. Are we singing or are we reading? Whatever you like.
Okay. I think I'm going to sing in my head, but I'm going to speak.
Okay.
Okay. Lador Vador Nagid God Lecha Ule Netzachim Kedusha Shachta Nakdish. Is that right?
Yep.
Nakdish Vishav.
Watch the vowel. Watch the vowel. There's a mouse at your.
Oh, Vishiv. Yeah. Vishiv Ha.
Look at the end. Vishiv ha.
Ha.
Good.
Vishiv Ha.
Right.
Eloheinu Mipinu. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Lo Yamush
Yes.
Leolam Vaed Kiel Melech Gadol V'Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu HaKadosh.
No.
No. Oh, sorry. Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'al HaKadosh.
Watch the two dots.
Ha'el.
Good. Ha'el.
HaKadosh.
Okay. Does anybody want to sing it? Da 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 da. Come on, you all know how to sing this. So shy all of a sudden. Ledor vador.
Lador Vador.
Ledor vador.
Vador Nagi
God lecha. It's God lecha. Ledor vador. Ledor vador. Ledor vador nagi. God lecha. Ulenetzach netzachim. Kedushatecha nagdish. Kedushatecha nagdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam. And then it goes to the beginning, and the Kiel Melech Gadol, the cantor finishes with those two lines. We don't sing that.
Oh, okay.
Cantor says Kiel Melech Gadol v'Kadosh Ata. I don't think we sing it. Kiel Melech Gadol Gadol v'Kadosh 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 Ata. And then he goes like, and then he goes Baruch Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Yeah, maybe we do the Kiel Melech Gadol. Okay, so look at the fourth word of Lador Vador. So it's Lador Vador Nagid, and you see that kamatz. The kamatz is that,
Right.
and it is a little bit darker and a little bit bigger.
Oh.
So that would mean you say it like or v'kodosh. Ki el melech gadol v'kodosh ata. Kodosh, not kadosh, kodosh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. In a lot of forms of the kadosh, it's kodshecha. Okay. So you'll hear that a lot with the root kadosh. Okay. Very good. Tov ma'od.
Thank you. Somebody else. Who else?
Somebody else. There you go.
Denise.
Somebody else wants to read a little piece. Any piece I said of either one. You could pick your, there's some that are smaller. There's just some like 3 lines.
Did you just call me?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You were
Well,
here
thank
last
you.
week. Because you were here
Okay.
last week.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to do what Nancy did, but I started higher. So I'll just
Oh.
read the 3 lines above that.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sure, fine.
So I start, Hani Adonai Elohim.
Wait, where are you?
I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th line from the bottom.
Ani Adonai, the one that's bold.
Yeah,
Are
Ani
you in the
Adonai.
same one? Are you in Musa?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's 1, 2,
I
3
see
lines
Hu
above Lador Vador.
Eloheinu. I see the Hu Eloheinu.
No, Ani Adonai.
Oh, okay, got it.
Elohechem. Uvadere.
Okay, that's the end of the syllable. Uvdivrei.
Mhm.
Okay, Uvdivrei. Kadoshecha.
Kodshecha. Okay, whenever you see that kamatz looking
Shecha.
bigger, Kodshecha.
Kodshecha. Katov. Loma. Lemo. Lemo.
Uvdivrei Kodshecha Katuv Lemor.
Right.
Yep.
All right. And then it's the same line as Nancy. Yim Loch Adonai Le'olam Elohacha. Elohache.
Take your time. Elo ha yich.
Oh, Yich.
Elo
Okay.
hayich.
Zinun.
Well, what's another the old-fashioned name for Israel?
Zion.
Sion, you got it. Sion.
Zion. Lador Vador. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, now look at the word Sion.
Yeah.
I've had people ask me, I have this charm, they say, and I've gotten it since my bat mitzvah, or I got it, I've been wearing this forever, and I don't know what it says. And a lot of the times it says Sion, Zion. It was given by a grandmother or a parent. And I like that because you have the baby Yud and the mama, the Vav, and the daddy long legs. You have a whole bunch of them all together. Isn't that cute? Sion, the baby, the mommy, and the daddy long legs. And the long legs ones are usually the sofit, the final letters, right? Like the Tzadi Sofit and the Face Sofit and the Chav Sofit and Sojeron feet. They have all those are longer. And here's the Nun Sofit. Uvdivrei kodshecha katuv lemor yimloch Adonai leolam Elohayich Sion Lidor Vador. Hallelujah. Tell you a funny thing happened last night. I brought a menorah, a Hanukkah, and candles to my class, which is mostly Hispanic, my Latina women, and there's a few guys in there. They're all terrific. And I also brought the dreidels. And I have a little dreidel song, and I had like a little thing, it's like a little history of Hanukkah, and they have to fill in the words. So I said, tonight we're going to sing. And they look at me like, oh, here she goes again. Because I made this thing about Albuquerque is a turkey. And now, so I taught them to sing I Have a Little Dreidel, which they immensely enjoyed, and they sounded terrific. They got it right away. And then I said, well, what do you know about Hanukkah? Silence. And then I wrote on the blackboard Hanukkah with the CH. So somebody said, oh, Chanukah. I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to have some trouble with them. I said, no, it's not Chanukah. I said, you have to be born with this kind of, it's like when you gargle. I said, it's Hanukkah. Then I wrote Hanukkah. I said, is that any better? You can say Hanukkah. So you like that one better? And then I proceeded to explain to them how to play the dreidel game and had them spin the dreidel, which they just thought was the catch pajamas. I mean, they were just spinning that. They said, oh, in South America, we have the pirinola. And I go, so you do, but you don't have 4 Hebrew letters on the pirinola. I think it is that's the way to say it. Anyway, then I explained I showed them in Hebrew block letters and explained the game to them. And I said, next week, we're going to do some gambling in class. Give them, like 10 to 20 pennies. I have a big bag of pennies. I dole out the pennies, and I said, then I always say to them, you can keep your winnings. And they say, oh, no, no, no. And they always return the pennies. So Hanukkah. So that was it. But they got the idea of the dreidel. All right. So
I have one more question about
go
Sion.
ahead. About,
Sion,
yeah.
because there's the yud with the dot in the middle.
Okay. So, okay. Sion, the dot is with, so that C and then the
Right.
yud and the dot, that is not a vowel. It's the C, the yud sound, and the vav with the dot is a vowel. That's, when you get into higher Hebrew,
Right.
it's like
Grammar.
an emphasis grammar, an emphasis dot. It's like you would say it double force, Sion. But
Okay.
it's not a vowel. The vowel there, it's there. The yud is a letter. It's just a Y sound. So it's C, yo, there
Right.
it is.
Okay.
And I know that's very confusing. All those dots, they put extra dots, but it's confusing to me too. That's why you have to learn some Hebrew words so that you know how it sounds. Okay, it's very important. Okay, who's next? Who's at bat next?
Charlene, you were here last week.
Who's going to be on, you or the kitty cat? Chatty cat?
Chatty left me alone
Okay.
and I forgot.
Oh,
Carol, I have a question. What
Yeah.
what page are you on in the Sim Shalom book? I haven't been able to find it.
Okay, yeah, wait a minute. I have everything written down in both.
page
whatever.
108.
108? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
No, wait.
have it. I gave it when I wrote this, but I'm using the Lev Shalom right now. Is it 108? Is that the Musaf one? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. No, it's, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
No, it's got to be 300 and something. No, it can't be 108.
Oh, Musaf
that
goes
is slim
356. Sorry, I lied. 356.
Yeah, it had to be
What, I'm sorry, what page 256?
356.
Oh, 356.
There
Okay.
is no 356 in my book.
seems
And
that
Sim
you
Shalom?
must have the slim Shalom. I was using the fat Shalom. That's 432 in the full size Sim Shalom. Okay, I don't have a slim Shalom. I only have the healthy one.
I can't find it. My book is different. Anyway, I'll listen. It's okay.
I think it's the Musaf, what you wrote last week. Compare the Shabbat morning Kedusha with Musaf Kedusha after the Torah service. In Lev Shalom, see page 161. Oh, sorry, 161. No. And in Sim Shalom, page 108.
I may have given the wrong.
And for morning Kedusha and Lev Shalom, page 187, and Sim Shalom, page 356 for Musaf. So
Okay.
you don't have a
It's
356?
350. Okay, the morning Sim Shalom and Sim Shalom is 356. And the other one, I had the wrong page. It's 432
Oh,
in the full size Sim Shalom, 432, because it comes after the Torah service. Musaf begins after the Torah service.
All right, let me see if I can go through it because it's not.
So if your book has Musaf for Shabbat, look after the Torah service, and that's where you'll find it. Okay, that's how I knew that I wrote the wrong. I was looking at something else and I wrote the wrong.
All right, I'm looking.
Okay,
What page, I'm sorry, what page did you say in Lev Shalom? I just had to switch from
Lev Shalom.
one to the other.
187.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so Diane, you want to read us a little part? You want to read the beginning, first 4 lines?
I could do that. I just
right.
found it in the book.
Na'aritzecha, like that?
Where is not? Oh, at the very, very top.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll try it, but I'm
No,
really rusty.
it doesn't matter. There's 2 lines there that you'll be home free.
Right.
Okay, good. That's good because, I wasn't here last week. Oh, dear. Okay.
No, I'm telling you, there's two lines that you're going to thank me for. Okay.
Okay. Na'aritzcha v'natdisha
Dishcha.
dishacha. that right?
Yeah.
Kisod, Siach,
Good.
Sarpei,
No dot.
no dot.
Sarfei.
Sarfei, oh, right. You're right. There's no dot there.
And that comes from the word seraphim. And as I said last week, the seraphim were like the highest order of the malachim, of the angels.
I thought it meant angel. Oh, I remembered something.
Very good.
Okay. Kodesh, Hamakdishim, Shimcha, Bakodesh, Kakatov, Kakatuv, Al Yad, Naviecha,
Viecha.
Vikara, Ze, El Ze, Ve'omar.
Now, when you hear that, Vikara, Ze El Zeva Amar, what's coming next? Okay, hit it, Diane.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sifaot, Melo Kol Haaretz Kivodo.
There you go. Now you're supposed to say thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay, so that we know that when that occurs in a prayer, we see Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. We know we're firm ground. We know those words. Adonai Tzivaot, Melo Chol Haaretz Kivodo. Okay, so there are some phrases that you're getting familiar with in the tefillot, which when you look at them, you're not even reading. They're sight words. Remember, I told you there's those words like in first grade and kindergarten that the teachers put on the window shades in the classroom. So those couple hundred sight words, you're gaining those by reading. You're recognizing them, and then you don't have to sound it out because that's a whole word experience. You look at Kadosh and you know you've got that word. You've got that whole phrase. Does anyone want to do Kavodo, Male Olam? Our cantor goes Kivodo, Male, Male Olam, Maye Mekom Kivodo. And he repeats it. So does anybody want to read those 3 lines for a little practice? Charlene, do you want to do that? Don't choke, Charlene. We'll get back to you in a moment.
I'm not gonna choke. I don't have that book. All I've got is the weekly prayer book.
Okay, but I sent you, yeah, and because of you, I send them out on Wednesday.
Yes, I know you did, and I never looked at it.
Okay,
I run the gift shop at the synagogue. You know how busy we are with Hanukkah right now?
good, that's good, you're making money.
Great.
Okay, Elizabeth, you're muted. Do you want to do a little reading? She's in Florida, and look at how beautiful it is. And we have
yeah.
a cold spell over here.
She's
in New
wearing
York.
short sleeves.
Yeah.
It's hot here.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, don't tell us, we're envious.
All right.
Look at this, I'm wearing this heavy sweater.
Yeah.
Okay, take
The
it
line-
from
The line
Kivodo.
after Kadosh, the line after that.
Yes.
Okay. As Bakol.
Oh, you're in the, okay, you're in the other one.
I'm on page 356 of the Sim Shalom.
Okay, let me get that one because I had the printouts from, hold on 1 second. 356. Okay, gotcha. Az b'kol ra'ash.
Az Bakol Ra'ash Gadol Adir Vehazak Mash Mi'im. Yeah, that sounds right.
Correct.
Mash Mi'im Kol Mitenan Shim.
Sim, it's a sin.
Yeah, Mitenan Nan.
Meet nasim.
Okay. Leumat Srafim.
There's the seraphim again with the angels. Keep going.
Leumatam Baruch Imaru.
Yo, Meru. Okay, now there, the dot is actually a vowel. The little yud with the dot. Okay, yomeru, so you've got it right. And then the next line, can you say the next line? That one should be very familiar.
Baruch, Kevod, Adonai, Mim, Komo.
Great, good job, very nice. Okay, so we say that so much, so we know that when we see that whole phrase, we don't have to stop and really sound it out because we get so familiar with the words Baruch. We know Kavod, we know Adonai, and we know Mim Komo. So it's blessed is a Kavod, Baruch Kavod. Blessed be the sanctity of God in his or her place, in God's place. Makom could be place, wherever God resides. And makom, I told you last week, also means God, and it depends how it's used. Here, it would be, the translation is praise is the glory of the Lord throughout the universe. Bimkomo, in his place, the universe, because we say God is everywhere, so that's got to be the whole world. Blessed is the holiness, kavod, Adonai, of God, from his place. Literally, that's what it says. Because the mem means from, and makom is location, and the o at the end means his. It's a possessive, from his place. Again, Hebrew is a language that's made up of like start and stop. The middle part, the guts, is the shoulders. That's the root. And you know that, Baruch. And the beginning of the add-ons, that's the prefix. That'll show you the tense, if it's a future tense or whatever. The ending shows you possessives, his, her, their. Okay, so when you put all those three elements together, you get a word. Okay, so you have in one word, mim komo means from the place, his, from place, his, from his place. Okay, in English, you need three separate words. You can do it in one word in Hebrew. And that's the magic of Hebrew and the confusion. Okay, because you need to know your grammar. You don't know the grammar, it's very hard to translate. Now, tomorrow I volunteered to be Gabbai Shani. Why do I have such a big mouth? I don't know. So to prep for that, I will, when we're finished, I will get my chumash. I will go over Vayishlach. I will translate every sentence. I will read it in Hebrew and I will look at it in English. And then I will go, that's not a good translation. And I will go through how many pages it is so that if I'm supposed to be listening to people along with the Gabbai Rishon, if somebody makes a mistake, we have to correct them. And when you Gabbai, it's the words. If they say the word wrong, if they don't do the trope correctly, they just say it and they don't use the trope, the musicality of it. If they use the wrong trope, you do not correct them. And if the name God, if they say that like Yihyeh instead of Adonai, you don't go back and say God's name again. You just go on. You don't correct that. You don't correct God's name. So there's a couple of rules, but if they don't know the trope, but they can read it, that's perfectly fine. But they have to read the words correctly. And actually, you know, we sit fairly close to the table, to the shulchan, because you're not supposed to embarrass people. We have somebody who will say it out loud when they make a mistake, and I cringe, you know. That's why I study real hard when, and I had last week, I had a 14 lines. I had a long one, and I was saying, I'm going to do it perfectly, so she's not going to embarrass me.
Did you?
One tiny mistake at the very end. I said, I think, otcha, otach instead of otcha, but I really knew it. I really, you know, when you get up there, I get nervous each time.
Wow.
And it's all week long, I'm nervous about it. And I study it hours and hours and hours. I get up like 4 or 5 in the morning on Saturday morning I call polishing it up just to make sure that I can go through the whole thing without.
You're not the only one that does that.
What is that?
I said, you're not the only one that practices ad infinitum But the trope helps because it's sort of, it's like a song. And then
Yes,
you-
it does. It does help. It gives you groups of, it gives you phrases.
Yeah.
So
I'm
do-
glad to hear that so your goodbye isn't standing right there with you.
we used
Our-
to. And now
Yeah.
with COVID, we sit in the front seat.
Oh, because of COVID.
We should
Okay.
get back. We used to,
No,
so the Gabbai Rishon will be on the left side.
correct,
The
correct.
Fud's reading is in the middle, and the Gabbai Sheni was always on the right side, but we were
Right.
pretty close to each other.
Got it.
So then
Okay,
they said you sit in the front seat. So
got
one
it.
sits on one side of the
Got
aisle
it.
in the front
Okay.
seat and the Gabbai Sheni on the second side. But I will read the whole thing because sometimes there's little notes about how this word should be pronounced. And because there's mistakes and I just like to know if there's crazy names that I have to, be prepared to correct on. Because you got to be ready and they
Mhm.
read quickly, the experienced readers read quickly. So you have to really follow pretty fast. Right. Who else wants to read? Come on, let's step right up. A dollar a shot. I can make some money with this. All right, come on, Charlene, you're on. Charlene, do you know something? Your hair color matches the wall.
Oh, thank you. My walls still need the shelves up. That's down the road.
It's nice.
I don't know what you want me to read because I'm in the weekday prayer book. It's the only one I can find.
All right. Did you find the morning Kedusha?
I will look for it.
Okay. While you're looking, Dorothy, you want to do a little reading?
Sure. I hope I'm on the right place. I just found it. Mim kamo hu yifin berachamim v'yahon am ham yahadim shemo erev vavoker
Mhm.
B'chol yom hamid pa'amayim be'ahava shema omrim.
And what's the next
Shema
line?
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
See, that's what I mean. The ones that once you get started on a line that it follows. You don't even have to think because you've heard it a million times.
Right.
Okay, very good. So, all right. Anybody else want to do any reading? That was all from the Shabbat Musaf. Very nice, very nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, here was a part that I think I explained to you. The one that starts Hu Eloheinu.
Mhm.
It's like the 1, 2, 3, the fourth group down. And that has the one that says, He is our Lord, He is our Father, He is our King, He is our Redeemer. Can you find that? It starts with who?
Mhm.
Hu Eloheinu. Who's saying? All right. Can anybody else find that?
I can.
Nancy, why don't you read it? Read those few lines.
Okay. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Hu Yashmienu, Barachamav,
Great.
Shenit, Le'ene,
Good.
Kol Hai,
Keep going.
Um,
2 more lines.
Liot,
Correct?
Lahem, Lelohim,
Mhm.
Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Okay, now there's a good example. Elohim means God, Lord, and
Mhm.
Elohe, so it doesn't say Elohim, it says Elohechem, so it means their Lord. Your God, not there, your God, Elohechem. Yeah, and it would be to a group of females, Elohechen. So the endings are possessive, they're attached to a noun. So like if we said, your friend. In one word in English, your friend. And it would be chavercha. Okay, chaver is a friend, and to put the cha, it means your. Okay, so does anyone else want to do any reading from this? Because we want to get moving on to Hanukkah stuff. Okay, so it's incumbent upon me to make sure that you know the blessings. Now, does anyone know this song that you might have learned if you went to Hebrew school or not, or your kids? Mattathiah is bold, 5 brave sons had he, Eliezer, elder son, Simon, John, and Jonathan, and Judah Maccabee, okay? And I think I mentioned that, well, Judah was called Yehuda HaMakav. Makav is a hammer. Judah the Maccabee. It literally translates like Yehuda HaMakav. Makav. Then also the word Maccabee actually comes from a phrase. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Who is like you amongst the gods, like the idols? Oh God, me is who? Kamocha is like you. The cha and the end means you. Mi kamocha ba'elim, amongst the gods, Adonai. And if you take all those letters, the mem from me, kamocha, the chav, mi kamocha, ba'elim, the bet, and Adonai, the yod. And that's how we have the word Maccabee. Because that was supposed to be like their battle cry, you know, against paganism. If we are to believe the story that Mattathias and his 5 sons in Modi'in, which is a city now in Israel, and I understand there's a lot of Americans living there, transplants, and they were asked to, by the Greeks, Syrian Greeks, to bow down to an idol. I don't know if it was a calf or whatever. And that's when the rebellion broke out. That was the last straw. They said, no, this is too, it's just too far. We won't do this. And that's when they attacked. And the other thing that I've heard is that the idea of ambushing, when the Greeks came with their swords and their protection and all the rest, the followers of Judah Maccabee and the Maccabee brothers, they were in the hills and they swooped down from the hills. So it was the idea of they attacked not frontally, but by ambush. And that was like their strategy. Okay, so the Maccabees, so we know that they're the brave Mattathias and his sons. So we have, how many blessings do we say on the first night when we light the candles?
2.
3.
Ah, Charlene, right. How many blessings do we say on the second night, Charlene?
2.
And all the other succeeding nights. So the first
2.
night has 3 blessings, and we only do the 3 on the first night. So the printout that I gave you, it separates and it says on the first night only. Okay, so that we do. The first night, so I showed this to my class last night. First of all, what do you call in Hebrew the lead candle, the one that we light first?
Shamash.
Shamash. Shamash is like the leader. And we only light that one. And we use that one to light all the others. What side? Now, Shammai and Hillel had.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
Because I have to look it up every year.
Shammai and Hillel had an argument about which side we should start
Yeah,
from.
right. I know, I have to look it
I
up every
think
year.
my way is Hillel. I start from the right. So I have the one high one up, and then I start, that one lights the one on the right. So how many candles are lit on the first night?
2.
Two.
Shamash and
On
one.
this, and on the second night,
3.
3.
and on the 8th night?
9.
Correct. Okay, very good. All right, so let's do the first one. You know the melody. Da, 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 da. Okay, so let's try 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik Shehanu, which is a blessed art thou, Lord our God, who Kiddishanu, who sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us. Okay, from the root of Tzav, v'tzivanu, and commanded us. So I gave you the word lahadlik as some vocabulary. What does lahadlik mean?
To kindle.
It means to kindle, to light. What we are commanded to light. Ner, what's ner?
Is a
A
candle.
candle of Hanukkah. And we're also supposed to publicize the nes, the miracle. So we have an electric menorah, and I part the curtains in the room, the window that faces the street. You know, my whole block has these very ornate Christmas decorations up the wazoo. I mean, they're huge this year. I guess people figured, look, if we can't travel because it's too expensive and we're afraid of COVID, let's light up the block. And they're huge and they're very fancy. And so next Friday night, all you're going to see at the Greenbergs is we have a TV table, and we put a couple of books, so the things that you've seen. We put the electric menorah there, and every night I put I light the bulbs. So what do we see in the Greenbergs? We see one little candelabra electric thing in the window. That's it. But we don't do a lot of decorating for Hanukkah. I have a paper dreidel or something thing that says a garland that says Happy Hanukkah. I mean, that's about as far as I can go. Yeah, Nancy.
Has anyone seen Steven Spielberg's new movie, The Fabelmans, yet?
Oh, I
Because
wanna
that's in the
see
very
that.
beginning. I don't want to give it away,
Oh.
but the lack of Christmas lights on.
And the blow-ups
house.
are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're huge. I think
Right.
they're terrifying looking to a child. One was like
Yeah.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes,
It's huge things that if I were a kid, I would be
2 stories high.
terrifying. Yes, it's terrifying.
And they
Okay.
fall over.
Well, I always said Santa Claus dies at night. He's there. And in the morning, they're rolled down as I'm going to work. Okay, the second one. 1, 2, 3, let's do it. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim ha'em. And we say Bazman. So this means, blessed art thou, Lord our God. She'asani, who made, from like Osei Shalom, make peace, who made. Now I gave you the word nes is a miracle, nisim, miracles, who made miracles. La for avot is fathers, avotenu, our forefathers. Hayamim, in the days gone by, hahem, in those days, ubizman or bazman, and in the time and in this time. So it means in those years, at this time of the year. Okay. Oh yeah, another thing. What is the meaning? How do we get the word Hanukkah? Well, it's got 2 parts. Chanu means they dedicated. Ka, the kaf and the hey, is the number, like when we get to Tu B'Shvat, it's a number. The kaf is the number 20 and hey is 5. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. On the 25th of the Hebrew month of Kislev. So the word Hanukkah, just like Tu B'Shvat, doesn't really mean anything. It's made up of 2 parts. They dedicated on the 25th. That's what Hanukkah means. And it's about dedication, or they cleaned the temple in Yerushalayim, and they cleaned it from the sacrifices with the pig's blood, and I think with lye, they scrubbed everything, and they had to light the Ner Tamid, the forever light, like in all of your synagogues, you have a light right by the Torah, by the ark, right above it.
Yeah, the
They
eternal
didn't have
light.
electricity then,
Mhm.
so they had to have an oil burning menorah to show that is a spiritual light, that God resides in this place. And they used olive oil. So they had a press, and they would take the olive trees growing plentifully in Eretz Israel. They take the olives, and then there's a press. We went to Chabad, come to our Hebrew school, and they showed, they put the olives in this wooden box, and they turn the screw, whatever, and oil comes out. So it's the purest first pressing of the olives that was used. And it had the stamp or whatever, some sign of the Kohen Gadol, that this was the pure, sanctified oil to use. So of course, the miracle, the nace, the big miracle is that they had only one little jar left after they cleaned everything, and they're supposed to put the menorah on again to show God's presence. And they only had the one little jar. And so the big miracle is that that one little jar of oil burned for 8 days or 8 nights until they could get a supply from the Kohen Gadol. Okay, so that's the whole thing. So given that story, so I said to my class, no Jews in a class last night. So I said, okay, so why do we eat jelly donuts and potato latkes, potato pancakes, you know, I have to secularize my speech, and potato pancakes. I think a lot of people do not understand when I speak. Anyway, so
You're fine. We all know what latkes are.
right. So I said, okay, potato pancakes and jelly donuts. So what's the connection to the miracle? Nobody could figure it out. Come on, think. So it's the oil, foods that are fried in oil.
Greasy.
It's greasy. So I had to tell them. I was wanting a little bit of analytical thinking there, but nope, I was not surprised.
Did anyone else grow up with jelly donuts? I know that's an Israeli thing, obviously. I mean, I grew up with
Sufganiyot. No,
Sufganiyot,
I
right?
did
Did
not.
anyone grow?
No.
And why jelly? I mean, any donuts are fried, right?
Yeah, but
Is there-
they taste better. Jelly inside. If you're in Israel at the time of Hanukkah, if you go to the shuk, the market, and I was staying in a place that was right opposite the market, and they have every kind of jelly donut you could imagine with any kind of filling. I mean, in the market, it's like, it's crazy there. So powdered, not powdered, what, all kinds of fillings, anyway, so you have that. But it's fried and it's tasty, you know. We don't eat French fried potatoes. We have the potato latkes, and that's our tradition, right? The latkes. I have to say pancakes to my to class. Okay, so now on the first night only. So now the first one is we are lighting the candles. You see the word ner, candle. The second blessing talks about the nisim, the miracles, which are big parts of the holiday, right? Lighting the candles, and the miracle, the story, the history. And then we have the third blessing. So let's say that one. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim. No, sorry. No.
Yeah.
Echeyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman. Okay, so the third one is talking about Shehechianu, and you see the word Chai, who brought us alive, that we're saying we're thankful to being alive, the Kimanu, we fulfilled this mitzvah, the Higianu, and brought us to this time at this season, Kislev. Okay, the 25th of Kislev. If you look at your Jewish calendars, it's going to say 25 Kislev, and that's going to be on Friday. That would be Friday night, right? Because the days begin at night. That's or you'll see it on the next night, because anyway, you'll see a Kaf Hey, and that's the 25th, and that's what it's all about. Now, then there's something very interesting. This passage, Hanerot halalu anachnu madlikin. These candles we light for al hanisim al haniflaot. I gave you that word. Niflaot means the wonders. if you go to Israel and somebody says nifla, it means wonderful in modern Hebrew. It's great, wonderful. Okay, and then when I watch, let's see how we're doing. Okay, so for these wonders, and that we beat the Syrian Greeks. Okay, v'al haniflaot, the wonders, v'al hatishuot. Tishuot is not a tissue box. Hatishuot is the redemption, the salvation that we were saved. V'al hamilchamot, and for the battles that we won. Sha'asita, that you did, you God, la avotenu, for our fathers, by Yamim Hahem, in those times, in those days, at this time of year, Bazman Hazeh, and then it talks about the Kohanes, the holy Kohanes, and all the 8 days. V'chol shmonat yamim, shmona is 8, all 8 days, Hanukkah, of Hanukkah, Hanerot halalu, they are sacred, like from Halal, praised, Kodesh, they are holy. These Hanukkah candles are holy. And now it tells you why and what you're supposed to do, and not the ein lanu, and not for us. Reshut, we have no permission. Reshut is permission. Lehish tamesh, to use bahem, to use them. Bahem ela, to use these. Lirotam, to see. Lirotam bilvad. We are not supposed to use them, seeing them, only kedei, in order to lahodot, to praise, ulahalel, to praise and exalt, l'shimcha, your holy name, l'shimcha hagadol, al nisecha, for your miracles, va'al niflotecha, and your wonders, v'al yeshuatecha, and your redemption. In other words, the only time you're supposed to use those Hanukkah candles, it's not to read by, it's not if the electricity goes out. You could use Shabbat candles in a candelabra, not the Hanukkah candles. The Hanukkah candles are only to publicize the miracle. The Hanukkah candles go with Hanukkah. And it tells you, I don't have the English here, but this is, let me see if I have the English.
It's on page 429 in the.
Okay, 429. And if you,
And if you're the Sim Shalom, it's on across the page.
yeah, what is that, 430?
243, 243.
Okay, I had mine, everything was on 430 on the big. Okay, here, and this is what it says. And we light these candles. As we light these candles, we recall the miracles and wonders, the battles and the victories performed for our ancestors through your holy priests in those days at this time. Throughout the 8 days of Hanukkah, these lights are holy. We may not use them, but may only gaze upon them. So you can't use them for some kind of a secular reason. We can only gaze upon them, that we may thank and praise your great name for your miracles, your deliverance, and your wondrous acts. Okay, so you can't use them for any of that. These candles have served one purpose, and it is on the 8 days of Hanukkah, which is really pretty cool. All right, now at the bottom, Ma'osur, I want you to hear something. I've queued up my old cassette player. I have my collection of my old cassettes because I want you to hear this. Okay. Now I want you to look at the words from Ma'osur. If you have 242 in right under the lighting of the candles, which I sent you, and here it is. They're gonna sing. Can you hear it? Now, I wanted you to hear something else. I have these good old tapes. So I bought myself a cheap tape player, and I was so happy I could hear some. Oh, okay. On Shabbat of Hanukkah, there's a special insert in the Amidah. And it's Al HaNisim, for the miracles. And it will say on Hanukkah. And I sent it to you on the second page. And it says, in commemoration of the holiday, the following prayer is added in the penultimate, that means next to the last bracha of the Amidah. The bracha expressing gratitude. And that's for the miracles. And it says, Al HaNisim, V'al HaPorkan, V'al HaGevurot, V'al HaTeshuvot, V'al HaMilchamot, Sha'asita Lavotenu, Bayamim Hahem, Ubazman Hazeh. And this is the way it goes. Now, this is fast. I taught it to my Hebrew class. I kept teaching it when I said, faster, faster, faster. I'm like a whirling dervish. But here it is. See if you can follow the words. Okay, it's on the second page that I sent you, the handouts, and it's way on the top. You'll see the words Al HaNisim. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's say the words, okay? Now, I don't expect you to do it that fast. And I don't remember if my cantor sings that or just says it. And then there's a whole paragraph here, B'yamei Matijahu, in the days of Mattathias, Ben Yochanan, Kohen Gadol, the son of a Kohen Gadol, Hashmonai, he was a Hasmonean, Uvanav, and his sons. And it goes on and praises the Maccabean, the father and the sons. Okay, so it's almost 2:30, but I'd like you just to say these words, Al HaNisim. That's an important insert on Hanukkah. So repeat after me. Al HaNisim,
Al HaNisim,
V'al HaPorkan,
Porkam,
V'al HaGevurot. That means bravery. Gibor is they called Samson Shimshon HaGibor, and the heroism. V'al HaTeshuot, V'al HaMilchamot, and for the wars. She'asita means that you did. La'avotenu, Bayamim Hahem, Uvazman Hazeh. Okay, so I gave you vocabulary, a lot of vocabulary, I think a lot of words from Hane Road Hallelujah. I think we'll listen to that next time. That'll be next week, right before, and that will be right at the time. Now, that Hane Road Hallelujah, a lot of times you can find when you buy that cheap box of candles, the one that not, I have some fancy ones, taller ones, but that, if it says Hane Road Hallelujah, after the blessings, a lot of people will say that. So you'll probably see the words in Hebrew on that, maybe in English, and we'll go over that next week. And anything else pertaining to Hanukkah, I'll see if there's anything else I want to teach you, any other songs. And that's it. Any requests for any particular songs that you want to do? Charlene?
I don't have a song request. I have a question. I'm looking at the weekday prayer book where the Hanukkah prayers are. And it says on Saturday night, the Hanukkah candles are lit after Havdalah at home, but before Havdalah in the synagogue. I don't understand that.
I don't either. They're lit after Havdalah.
At home.
Okay, well, I understand that after Havdalah because, yeah, I forgot I was gonna tell you that. When, so the first night of Hanukkah this year, the 18th comes out on a Friday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday.
Okay, when, why do I keep thinking it's the 18th? I don't know, something's wrong with me.
You're looking
Anyway.
at 2021. And not 2022.
Thank you. Now we have Elizabeth Martinez Holmes. All right, Cheryl, I actually figured it out. My brain is just not. Okay, anyway. When the first night of Hanukkah, or any night, and you're lighting candles on a Friday night, the rule is you always do, you do the Hanukkah candles, first, then
Yeah.
Shabbat. First, you do the
Right.
Hanukkah candles,
Right.
because once you light the Shabbat candles, you're not supposed to light any more candles.
Right.
So when it is a Friday night, the Friday night of Hanukkah, do your Hanukkah candles, sing I Have a Little Dreidel or any preferred song, or Hanukkah, Hanukkah, and whatever you want to, sing a song, do a dance around the kitchen, but then you light your Shabbat candles. That's the important thing, okay? Any very religious person will say that's the very important thing. Otherwise, you're desecrating the Sabbath, okay? But Hanukkah candles first, then Shabbat. So I can understand why they would say, because Shabbat ends, and you do Havdalah. So after Shabbat ends, then you could light the Hanukkah candles because no longer Shabbat. It's a Saturday night, no longer Shabbat. Okay.
Okay, but then it says Havdalah at home or before Havdalah at the synagogue.
Well, you can say Havdalah, you don't have to say it right on Saturday night. You could say Havdalah on Sunday or Monday. It just separates the week
Yeah.
from the Shabbat. So.
Still,
maybe
I don't
that's why they
understand.
say, Sure, you could do it first. I don't know.
So it's not the same value, I guess, as Shabbat candles. That's the biggie. You know,
Yeah.
then Shabbat, definitely light those candles first, Hanukkah, sing your song and then do your thing, do your.
But
little-
if you're at home, you do Havdalah after, I mean, you light the candles after Havdalah
Yes.
at
You
home.
should.
Right, and that makes
Because
sense.
that is
to me.
ending Shabbat, Havdalah is ending Shabbat after three
Right.
stars. in the
And then you
sky.
can light the candles.
And
But if you're in the synagogue, you do the candles and then Havdalah.
I don't understand that. I'll ask.
That's
the-
what the
Yeah, I
prayer
don't-
book says.
You know what? Whenever there's a question or a debate, they always say, ask your local rabbi.
Right, okay,
Yes,
I
that's a
will
good
try to
question.
find her.
That's a good question to ask the rabbi. Why
Right.
should we light the Hanukkah candles maybe because they have a captive audience. I don't know.
right.
I don't know that one. That's funny, but all I'm gonna tell you is that I did bring a recording of Hava Nagila or some Torah to my class, which is mainly, I would say 98% Hispanic women who are learning English. And I love them dearly, dearly. And I said, okay, girls, guess what we're gonna do today? We're gonna dance. And they're all excited. And I say, we're gonna learn how to dance the Hora. And we danced the Hora. I taught them around the classroom. And then they had our Hanukkah and Christmas party at the church. It's a Catholic church. And they're phenomenal there with their community outreach. They are the best people in the world. And so when it was a time for the party, I put on the music and we made a giant circle. And Padre Jesus joined us. And Sister Mary Grace joined us. I had everybody dancing Hora.
That's great,
All in there dancing with me.
wonderful.
Carol, I have to mention something. We had a sisterhood board meeting this week, and the girl, instead of doing a regular Devar Torah, talked about things related to Hanukkah. One of the things she said was that she read that the dreidel originated in Germany, from the word drehen, which is to twist, and then it went into the Yiddish of dreidel. And I thought that was hysterical because Christmas trees started in Germany too. It has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. And there we have the dreidel. I just,
Well,
just a little thing.
except so the myth goes, or history is that when in the Roman times, when they would be studying, they would go out to study and they would have
They play, right.
that they would put the books like in a basket and cover up, make believe they're out for a picnic, and then take out the dreidels or some kind of a top and play, so they wouldn't all be
Right.
slaughtered, because it was outlawed to study under the Romans and under the Greeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of our Hanukkah law is myth and how much is truly history, but we do know that it was bad under the Syrian Greeks and it was bad under the Romans, it was bad under the Germans. So
Yes.
history, most of it was bad under Torquemada. I mean, it can go all the way, and so what is Jewish history? It was bad for the Jews. That's the end. That's the story. Right? So
Okay.
it sort of doesn't matter what period of time we know the outcome, and the outcome was that they outwitted people, by look, they did anything they could to study and to stay alive. And for someone who's very religious, studying is staying alive,
Mhm.
learning, and practicing your Judaism, your Yiddishkeit is their life, is being alive.
Yep.
The freedom. And I told my students, the main thing here, it is not a blue and white Christmas. It's a historical holiday, and the main theme is freedom. That's what we're battling today, for freedom, for women's freedom and freedom of LGBTQ. We're battling for freedoms. And I said, that's what it's all about. It's a battle for freedom, to be able to make your own choices and follow what you have in your heart. And we're going through that in politics today. I hate to say it, but
Right.
Yep.
it's a battle. But you know what the French say, le plus ça change, le plus c'est la même chose. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'll see you guys next Friday.
Shabbat shalom.
We'll
Thank you.
Shalom.
Thank you,
tighten up
Carol.
all the screws for Hanukkah and get you all polished up and ready to go.
So next Friday, there's class, but the Friday after that, no class.
Right.
And the
That's,
Friday after that, no.
yeah, that's Erev Christmas,
And Erev New Year's.
New Year's, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That week of New Year's, the 6th, we will, okay, so it's next week and then it will be the 6th, okay? Shabbat
Okay.
Shalom.